The misunderstanding. If you felt older than your psychology says this wasn't imagination. It was adaptation. You were the kid who noticed emotional shifts before words were spoken. The one who sensed tension in a room and adjusted quietly. While others played, you observed. While others reacted, you regulated. Adults may have called you mature for your age, but what they missed is this. Maturity wasn't your personality. It was your nervous system learning early. Neuroscience shows that children exposed to emotional complexity often develop heightened internal monitoring. Your brain learned to scan, predict, and stabilize before it learned to rest. Not because you wanted to grow up fast, but because safety required awareness. This is why you felt different, why childhood felt heavier, why you carried responsibility without being asked. But here's what most people never explain. This early oldness wasn't damage. It was a specific kind of wiring. And once you understand it, everything about you starts to make sense. The science behind it. Here's the part no one told you. Feeling older early isn't emotional aging. It's accelerated pattern recognition. Neuroscience shows that when a child's environment feels unpredictable, the brain prioritizes vigilance over play. The prefrontal regions mature faster, not to succeed, but to stabilize. Your nervous system learned one rule early: stay aware and you'll stay safe. So while others lived in the moment, your mind tracked consequences. While others expressed freely, you filtered carefully. This wasn't anxiety, it was early calibration. Psychology calls this heightened self-regulation, but lived experience feels like seriousness, like being 5 steps ahead emotionally, like knowing things without being taught. This is why you struggled to relate to peers. Why small talk bored you. Why depth felt natural and surface level felt exhausting. But here's the quiet truth. Your brain didn't skip childhood. It adapted to it, and adaptation always leaves a signature. To the hidden cost. Here's the part people rarely talk about. Early emotional maturity comes with a cost. Not obvious, not dramatic, but quiet. When your nervous system learns to monitor early, it often forgets how to release. You become excellent at holding things together, less practiced at letting go. Psychology shows that chronic self-regulation can mute spontaneous emotion. You don't explode, you contain. And over time, containment feels like distance. This is why rest can feel uncomfortable. Why joy sometimes feels delayed. Why you stay composed even when you're tired inside. You weren't numb, you were efficient. Your system learned to conserve energy, not express it freely. Like running too many background apps on a phone, everything works, but the battery drains quietly. But here's the important shift. This cost isn't permanent damage. It's an unfinished cycle, and unfinished cycles can be completed. The rare traits it created. This is where the story changes. Because early emotional oldness doesn't just take, it also creates. You develop traits most people never consciously build. Not talents, nervous system abilities. You read subtext instantly, not guessing, detecting. Your brain links tone, timing, and micro shifts automatically. You stay calm in situations others find overwhelming, because chaos feels familiar to your system. You don't panic, you organize, you think long-term by default. Consequences appear in your mind without effort. Impulse feels foreign. You hold emotional space for others without losing yourself. Not because you're passive, but because your system knows how to regulate intensity. And most importantly, you carry depth without noise. You don't need to announce wisdom. It's embedded. These aren't personality quirks. They're signatures of integration and identity shift. There's one final truth to understand. You weren't born old. You became aware early. And awareness, when unrecognized, feels like heaviness. But when integrated, it becomes clarity. Psychology shows that nervous systems shaped early don't need fixing. They need permission to soften, to rest without scanning.